YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with you. We got something a bit different today. I'm usually on my smoker or on my Weber, whatever variation of Weber that I choose to use for the day. Today we're going to be on the inside, using my stove and oven. I am busting down some green bell. And today we're going to make some Catfish Courtboullion. Now this dish is generally a savory tomato-based gravy steeped with, of course, catfish and, of course, the Cajun Trinity. Cajun Trinity being bell pepper, onion, celery, and in my case, I'm going to add some a little bit of garlic. Let me show you guys how I make my Catfish Courtboullion. Now, I grew up eating this dish. This is a Cajun dish from Louisiana. I used to eat it quite a bit as a kid growing up in the inner city of Houston, Texas. And this is one of those tastes. I found this is one of those ways to calm down the fishy flavor and taste of catfish. Catfish can have such a muddy, off-putting flavor for some. Generally, if you find somebody that doesn't eat catfish, it's either going to be because they see them as a dirty fish, based on the environment they live in, or it's going to be because of the taste. Somebody didn't clean their catfish right, and so person eating, who already had a bad response to catfish from the past, got a piece of that fat, right? So you can use for this recipe, you can use catfish fillets or catfish nuggets. I've got nuggets today, and we're going to put them to use. Besides doing the medial frying, right? So just stay tuned. I'm going to break down the Trinity, Cajun Trinity. Again, that Trinity is onion, bell pepper, and celery. This is the base of this dish, and unlike many other Cajun dishes, this dish generally is not made with a roux. Now, you can make a gravy and then get your tomato-based products off in that gravy and let it simmer and steep. However, I do mine a bit different, so we will be using a ton of tomato products along with some chicken stock. I didn't make any homemade today, so this will be store-bought chicken stock. All right? But I'm going to break down the rest of these veggies, aka Cajun Trinity, and then we're going to get this show on the road. This will be my dinner for tonight and for part of this week. Also like being in the kitchen. This is where my love for cooking started. Something a little different. I'll bring you guys back. I'm going to finish breaking down this Trinity, and I'll show you how we're going to put this together. Next, we'll probably be cleaning our catfish, and then we're going to take it from there. Stay tuned. Again, Catfish Courtboullion. As your onions and bell pepper. So for these garlic pieces, I usually smash them. Smash again. Smash. Smash. So I am showing you guys how I prepare my veggies first, because this is generally make things go a bit quicker in the entirety of the cooking process. There's a French term for this. And it's called mise en place, everything in place. Now, depending on what you're cooking, especially you're cooking, you know, dishes from the Chinese culture or Japanese culture, things move pretty fast. You don't want to have something on a stove and have to come back over to your preparation counter and prep stuff, because then things are out of whack, start to burn, and then, you know, you can mess up a whole lot of dishes doing things that way. Then now we're going to take our knife and get this down. And I bring you guys back for the next step. Stay tuned. Alright, I've got my catfish. I've given it a few rinses. I went through and I pulled off some of this stringy stuff. Again, bad taste that people complain about. Some of this stringy stuff, some of the fat. You really want to try and get rid of it. However, I never have really had a problem with, I'm a catfish lover. So this really doesn't bother me. However, I've gone and went through some of these, was moving a bit fast, having a conversation, and left some of it on, but it's a good time for me to show you guys when I'm pulling off. Look, that's some of the stuff. And so how slow we're going to cook this, a lot of this is going to cook down. This fish is going to start falling apart. Feel free to utilize bone in or bone on catfish pieces. This is excellent recipe for those pieces that meat will be sliding off that bone. All right. Not really seen anybody take their catfish and sear it off before this, especially when you're using something like Catfish Nuggets, right? Some of the pieces are going to be overdone. All right. Other than that, so some of this is skin on, right? You can tell the skin's been scraped because you can still see the meat. I'm okay with that. All right, this one has a bit of a bone in it. You're gonna get that bone up out of there. I don't want nobody biting on that. That's pretty sharp. We got kids eating. All right, this is what we're looking like. So now, I put this catfish in a strainer, gave it a few rinses. I'm gonna start getting here with my hands, hitting it with seasoning. I want you guys to see how I do it. Now, everybody cleans catfish a bit different. I got this from my local fishmonger, right? Fishmonger at, you know, one of my box stores down the street from the house. So first, I don't need any oil or anything on this. This fish needs time to sit out and absorb these flavors. It can go back in the fridge once it's been seasoned. I am going in with a bit of salt. Going on with garlic powder. This is granulated garlic powder. This could be a bit spicy, so take it easy. I'm going in with some black pepper, and that's going to be it. Now I'm going to get in here with my hands. Season. Get in here with my hands, and it's going to go back into a bowl and go back into the fridge. Stay cold. Now, one of the other seasonings you might see people use, especially if they're Cajun or Creole, you might see them pull out a bit of that seafood boil, either the powder, or most people are going to stick to that liquid concentrate. I would caution you to be very careful with it. That stuff is a power bomb, spice bomb. It can be very hot, right? Just think about it. You're taking concentrate and you're not necessarily tamping it down with water. All right, so my fish is seasoned. I'm going to get this back into a bowl, put it back into the freezer, or the fridge, I'm sorry, and we're going to move on to the next portions of this cooking, which will center around getting this tomato-based sauce up and going. It doesn't take much time for this pan to come up to temperature. First thing I'm going to go in with is all my veggies. Again, that's 1 whole onion, that's 2 sticks of celery, and then this is a green bell pepper, aka the Trinity. Remember, the only thing I've salted so far is that fish. Some of the other things we're going to use have salt in it. Alright, so I want to be a little less heavy-handed with the salt. Really simple dish, packing big flavors, especially if you like catfish. I'm going to go in with some black pepper. Bring that Cajun theme in, a little Tony Satchery's. This has salt in it as well. You will see after I add my liquids, I'm going to have to go back and then re-season. Oh, that's garlic powder. So the first thing we're going to add is going to be tomato paste. So we come in and start making our tomato gravy, if you will. It's about half the can. About half the can. So I'm going to get in here with my towel and give this a mix. .5-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes going in. Then we've got a 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Again, this is a tomato heavy dish. Going with some chicken stock. This is the powdered chicken stock, and I'm going to come back with my water. Take it real easy with this stuff, because this is high salt content. So then give it a good mix. Which allows for your mixture to concentrate every 30 minutes or so. We're going to get in here and give it a good mix. This should thicken. I will add water as necessary. And really, I'm not too far from dropping that catfish in. And as this cooks, I may come through and add some more liquid to this. The way this is traditionally eaten is generally over a bed of rice. The sauce smells good already. It's over a bed of rice. You put this, and of course you always want to have some veggies, usually sweet corn or green beans on the side. Other than that, I'm going to get ready to give this a taste. I'll do it here on camera. Then I'll not going real heavy with the white sugar. So I'm going to give it a sprinkle now. So this is probably about a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon. And that's how we're going to leave it for now. I might add a bit more. Remember that sugar, this is not a sweet dish. Alright? I haven't added enough to make it a sweet dish. But what's going to happen is these flavors are going to concentrate. The sugar is going to help dampen down that acidic tomato-based flavor. You will still be able to taste tomatoes. It's not just going to be as pungent. Right? So now we're going to go ahead and get this wrapped. My catfish will remain in. So this is our restaurant pan with our tomato-based sauce for our Catfish Courtboullion. It's in the oven. I just put it in there. Oven's still coming up to temp right now. I got it on 275. This is gonna stand here for probably the next 30 to 45 minutes. I'll be checking probably at 30 minutes. Once I see some good consistency gathering, I'll go ahead and drop in my catfish. I will recover just as you see here and let that catfish cooks. So total time in the oven probably is going to be at 1.5 hours, 2 hours total. You should start smelling this. It smells absolutely delicious already. However, the longer we leave this in the oven at this pretty low temperature, the better it's going to smell, the better it's going to taste. This is actually another dish that if you cook it today and you want to eat it tomorrow, absolutely fine. It's going to be delicious. Stay tuned. One of the other reasons why I'm cooking it in the oven this way is because I've got that top half cocked. If I had the top for my restaurant pan, it would also be half cocked. So it allows heat to get in. It allows those roasty flavors to assemble at the top of that sauce, which is why I'll come in every 30 minutes or so and give it a mix, adding to more roasty tomato-based flavors. We are not trying to get rid of all of the acidity from the tomatoes, but we're just trying to dampen it down so we can get true tomato flavor. Stay tuned. Alright, here's our sauce after 30 minutes at 275 in the oven. Showed you guys how I had that foil since I don't have a top for this restaurant pan. Sauce is nicely thickened up. Those veggies aren't as hard as they once were. Tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty good. So now we're going to take our fish, we're going to dump it in. I'm going to give it a good mix, and this is going to go back into our oven at 275 for the next hour, hour and a half, and then I'll call it done. I'll give it a taste. The sauce smells absolutely delicious already. Fragrant. So the next hour, hour and a half. Stay tuned. Alright, here we are. This is about 3.5 hours in. I like the body that this sauce has. This is going to coat my rice nicely. You'll find that down in Louisiana, some people just eat this by itself. Alright, so my fish is falling apart. That's fine. We still have some texture in some of these more chunkier pieces. I'm okay with them being whole pieces and them falling apart. Again, this is one of the more enjoyable ways of eating catfish, right? I can smell this. It smells awesome. I'm going to let this set and cool. I'm going to get some plates together, and I'll bring you guys back to close this video out. And again, this is Catfish Courtboullion. I've got some nice white rice back there, and I've got some cream spinach right here. I'm going to let this settle down, not be so hot, make a few plates, and then I'll bring you guys back to close this video out. Stay tuned. Catfish Courtboullion over white rice. You can come in with the parsley, or you can come in with the, I forgot what the name of that other, the same stuff you would put over gumbo. I can't think of the name. It's sassafras leaves, right? What is it? Filet. What? Is it filet? Oh, filet, like gumbo filet. I've seen that used. Not doing any of that. I really enjoy the taste of Catfish Courtboullion. It's one of my favorite Cajun dishes, besides, you know, chicken fricassee, sweet chicken, and there's a few others. Generally, this is served with sweet corn. Didn't have any sweet corn, so I served it with what I have. Let's go ahead and get a taste test so I can go ahead and close this video out, because I'm going to sit down and eat. This is my dinner tonight, and then again, I'll end up taking this for lunch probably a few days out of the week. The catfish is pretty tender. You see that? Again, this is one of the various ways to kind of tame that catfish flavor. You still taste the catfish, it's just not as bold as it is because of where they live and the environment they live in. You see that? That catfish is tender, it's flaky. I probably could have went a bit heavier. This needs some hot sauce, as with most Cajun foods. Probably can use some Louisiana hot sauce. Almost like a stewed catfish, if you will. Tastes pretty good. That juice is delicious. Again, this took about right at 3.5 to 4 hours total prep time and cook time combined. Now we're gonna get a taste of this the spinach, cream spinach. That's delicious as well. Guys, if you're looking for another excellent way to prepare catfish besides the mundane frying, give this recipe a try. Again, I grew up eating this, and I suppose that's what made it one of my favorites, but the taste is awesome. I love catfish. Trying to get others to embrace catfish, you know, minus what a catfish, an unclean catfish, can taste like, especially if you go ahead and fry it or you use it in this type of preparation. Not too hard of a recipe to do. This is my Sunday evening meal. Until next time, Beast Smokehouse out.